Hey everybody, it's Bruno. Here's my new episode of MB. Be my next guest on MB by clicking on the link below and we'll contact you. So listen, enjoy the episode.
That's right. What's up, you sucker? What's up, you sucker? What you looking at?
So, martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
Like it?
Love martial arts. I think
See?
it's extremely
You just learned
important.
something from the president of the Center of Newcomers. Loves martial arts. Tell us about your favorite martial art or...
So, I have a story for you. And I didn't know the story until when my husband, Stefan...
Never met him.
Never met him. When my husband,
Inside joke.
When my husband, Stefan, proposed to me, it was really awkward. And it was really hilarious, and it was typically him. He actually didn't say the words out loud. He just said something like along the lines of, so remember when, and I'm like, you said that you didn't want to get married? I actually said that. He goes, yes. And now 3 months into our relationship, you want to marry me? Yes. So does that mean we're engaged? Yes. And
Nice.
I was like, great, that sounds awesome. And he was like, oh, okay. So I just knew what he was going to say. He then went out and purchased an engagement ring.
Okay.
And the engagement ring matched the earrings that my grandfather gave my grandmother that I inherited.
You got a good catch there.
So in
Great
front
catch.
of my dad, he actually took the ring and showed my dad before he showed me. And my dad started crying because he knew those were his mother's earrings. And then he burst out laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what's so funny, Dad? And he said, when you were about 5 years old, you walked up to me. And now my dad is like that stereotypical old school dad that, like he loved me, but I was like the little princess girl, but you don't talk back, you don't, disagree.
So are you Italian?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Italians and Indians, very, very similar, let me
sounds
tell
like
you.
it, yeah.
Very similar. So it was, he was kind of that guy. And so, he said to me, you're 5 years old, you walk up to me and you say, Dad, there's nothing you can do about it, so you better get used to it. And my dad says, what? I'm marrying Bruce Lee.
Oh.
And my dad looked at me,
Very good.
and said, okay.
Very good.
And I said, Dad, what do you mean you said okay? I didn't get sent to my room for talking back or whatever. He said, well, at that moment, I had a dilemma in my head. Do I tell my little girl that Bruce Lee is dead, or do I just let it go? And he's like, and I didn't want to tell you he was dead, so I just let it go.
Oh, that's so funny.
And so when I got married, or when Stefan proposed, and of course the surname is actually Lee, Yuen.
You got halfway there.
And he was I guess a black belt. Kung Fu, you don't really have black belts, but
Mm-hmm.
that mastery level in Kung Fu, my dad's like, you knew since you were a child that you were going to be Mrs. Lee.
That is so funny.
And so for me, martial arts is really this lifelong dream of wanting to do Bruce Lee's martial arts in Jeet Kune Do, and never having any ability to do that in Calgary with a certified instructor, or being able to do that. So meeting Stefan was really important to me in terms of that martial arts journey. But and this is really important, I think no matter what your age is, you should always try something new that you've never done before. Mm-hmm. So I started martial arts at 39. And
I thought you were like 28 or something.
I know, that's
27.
so sweet of you.
I'm being serious.
So I started a few years ago.
I thought you were 87 years younger than your husband.
Most
Because
people
your
think
husband's
so.
100.
He is.
He's like Yoda.
At least.
Yeah.
Well, he is like Yoda because of the whole martial arts thing.
Yeah.
But so I started a few years ago at 39, and I wanted to do something before I hit 40 that was different and that was scary. And so I did that. And that led me on this really interesting journey where it led me to Filipino martial arts, which is Bruce Lee's protege, Guru Dan Inosanto, is Filipino-American, born and raised in the U.S. It actually is his birthday coming up soon, and I think he's going to be like...
What are you going to get him?
Well, hopefully the best prayers and wishes, because we cannot send anything right now. He's in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
And, and having the ability to train at the Inosanto Martial Arts Academy and being able to hear all of his stories of Bruce Lee firsthand and all of the great things that he did, it's been a dream come true. Bruce Lee's first student and also his best man at his wedding is Taki Kimura. And so got to meet him. So if you look in like on all the Bruce Lee books and whatever else, you'll see this Japanese gentleman. That's Taki Kimura. So meeting Taki Kimura and his son, Andy Kimura, and being able to train with them in Seattle, celebrate Taki Kimura's 95th birthday, meeting Bruce Lee's wife, Linda
Wow.
Lee, like all of those things, 14-year-old me was just like fangirling, and this is crazy. And now...
I must tell you, though, that people can come up here and make up stories,
Yeah.
right? And how I know that's a true story, that was in LA, right?
LA and then in Seattle after. Yeah.
How I know this is that I woke you guys up.
Yes.
Well, I forgot about the 1 hour difference, and I phoned your husband, and he's like, hello.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
So I know this story is true.
Yeah.
So
And
good for you.
So it's been really impressive. And, and for me, I'm not really an athletic type of person. Like I like to be movement and do things and whatever. I'm more of a dancer, so that's where that kind of works out.
It's kind of like dance.
It is kind of like dance. So watching.
With a little pugilism.
I don't know what
like
pugilism
fighting,
means.
punching.
Oh, okay. See,
In
I learned a
Italian,
new
it's
word.
pugile. Pugile
Ah.
means boxing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mario Taniguchi told me that.
Really? Or are you
He's a
making that up?
journalist. No. Mario's a journalist. He's got the big words. Like quantify and stuff like that.
That's a big word.
Quantificate. Is that a
Okay.
word?
I don't know. Pontificate seems to be one that you're doing.
Yeah, he's
right
like
now.
the Pope.
Yeah.
You know what I got to tell you? Remember I said I'm going to make you sweat? You
Sure.
made me sweat because you're telling the story about Stefan martial arts meeting your father. I honestly thought the story was going to end like they got in a fight. But
They might have.
They may have, but they get along.
Well, he's passed away now, but they got along very well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, if you want someone you know to be our next guest, simple. Click below in the description and we'll get in touch with them. Thank you for watching and please subscribe and you'll never ever miss another episode.